Hi guys, it's Sam here and you're joining me on Egg Seeds Banging Beans. Now I'm going to show you 3 ways to make those boring beans a little bit more, a little bit yum. Who doesn't like a bit of beans on toast? So let's make life a bit more interesting and make some banging beans. So let's start off with the basics. Those cheap shop bought beans, they don't always taste as nice as the expensive ones. So let's add a little bit more oomph, because sometimes that's all we've got. So let's make them taste that little bit nicer. Now these techniques isn't all about what you add into it, but also how you cook them.
Just while I'm undoing the beans, I'm going to turn the heat on the hob. I don't need it to be up at full heat. I'm just going to get it up to 2/3 of the way. Because a knack of cooking beans is not cooking beans on full heat as quick as you can. Although that might feed you quicker, they're not as enjoyable to eat.
So that's pro tip number 1, slow cook your beans.
For those of you who haven't got a hob, I'll do a microwave video in just a second. So we've got our beans in there. You see how liquidy that was? That just oozed out. If we want to make those beans nicer though, first things first, we're going to add a knob of butter.
So that 250 gram packet of butter can be split into 10 sections, normally marked out on the packet. Then cut it into a 25 gram piece and then cut that in half.
So I've got my knob of butter. I'm going to stir that in. So I'm just going to let that heat up and I'm going to leave it simmer away.
While that's doing that, let's just quickly recap on the microwave. How to cook microwave beans slowly is instead of 100% for a minute or a minute and a half and then another minute, what I suggest is you lower that full power down to 60 or 80% and give it a good 6 minutes, give it a stir, 3 minutes, give it a stir, and another 2 minutes at 80%, and then those beans will be nice. What you're looking for in the microwave beans and the beans on the hob is that the sauce is no longer so watery and it's thickened up a little bit. The beans are soft, not hard, and everything's beautiful and ready to eat. Right, while we're waiting for the buttery beans to thicken up, let's get the cheesy beans on the go. So first of all we need to get our beans in the pan. Boom, there they are. Now we've got to add ourselves in our butter and our cheese. Now that cheese can either be grated or chopped up into little chunks depending on whether you've got a cheese grater or not. I try and grate it as fine as I can because it mixes quicker and melts into those beans easier. Now we've got it all stirred together, all we're going to do is wait for that to heat up and start simmering away, and at the same time we can see those beans with the butter mixed in. They're nice and thick, they're ready for toast. Let's bang it on there and enjoy that food. Now on to my favourite. What we've got here is we've gone from cheesy beans, we're waiting for them to simmer away, but we're going to do curried beans. So what we need is to choose our beans, bang in the pan, there you go. Then we're going to decide what amount of curry paste we want. I like it quite thick, so I'm going to go for a whole teaspoon of curry paste. And you can choose whether or not to add the raisins. I like raisins in my curried beans, you might not. Choice is yours. As you're cooking these beans for longer, it's important to remember to give them a good stir every now and again so they don't stick to the bottom, otherwise you end up with more mushed beans. You can really see those cheesy beans are thickening up now, they're nearly ready. We're just going to give them another stir and see how we're going, but I think that's ready for some toast, so let's bang it on there and enjoy them. Oh, added bonus to these curried beans is the house is smelling gorgeous. I'm getting really hungry waiting for these bad boys to be ready. They're not far now though, that sauce is thickening up. I'm going to get the toast on. Right, now we're just going to serve up those beans. It doesn't really matter the way you cut your toast, but I do like my toast in triangles. Let's serve them up, split them between 2 people, and sit down and enjoy those curried beans. Right, here's a pro tip for you. Now get that pan rinsed out straight away, it's so much easier to clean.